Oh, I got a couple things. We got to do some spring cleaning. Was it a house cleaning? What was this? Housekeeping. That's it. That's the term, housekeeping. We got to do a little bit of housekeeping. First things first, I got three things. One thing is Soft Warm Classic. Go to softwarmclassic.com, pick up some Juneteenth gear while you still can. Also, there's other great merchandise in that store. They're a supporter of the Tim Black Show. Go to Soft Warm Classic and get your culture on. Do it today. Softwarmclassic.com. The other thing is I've joined a network where my content is featured prominently on their website. We're talking about WeTheFree.com. WeTheFree.com is a network powered in part by brother Shermichael Singleton over there, CNN contributor, also friend of the Tim Black Show, also a cool brother that I had a great conversation with. I've joined, I got my content there. Go to WTF.tv, WeTheFree.tv or WeTheFree.com. Become a member. You can join two ways for $1 a month or $8 a month. They got a lot of gun stuff. Man, if you like guns, yeah. Guns Out TV. .tv. You'll find out. Go on over there, find out. Any of my gun enthusiasts, people that go to ranges, people that are into self-protection, people that are into the firearms, ammunitions. You'll want to go there with your 2A self. Go to WeTheFree.com, sign up and tell them that Tim Black sent you. And watch my content over there too. And number 3, and this one's on me. This one's for Tim Black. I looked up one day and I realized I've been doing this for a long time. 2012 was when I started doing content on the internet. And by 2015, I was not a household name, but pretty known. I had already been on CBS and in 2 documentaries. Since then, my reputation has soared. Interviewing presidential candidates, entrepreneurs, film directors, authors, professors, you name it, I did it. I've taken all that information and expertise and rolled it up and rolled out TimBlackConsulting.com. Go to TimBlackConsulting.com if you need information, if you want to know more how you can be independent, how you can get your politics on. Not kowtowing for the Democrats and not shoe shining for the Republicans. Either one. Go to TimBlackConsulting.com. Book a session with your brother, Tim Black, and learn something. Learn something you can use immediately in your quest to either know more politically or to get started in this. We're doing it, TimBlackConsulting.com. Try it today. All right. That was a lot, baby. Proud of that. I'm proud of that. That was all right. That's all right, you know. Now, if you're new to the show, you may have just stumbled upon us. Let me let you know something. I cover U.S. politics, breaking news, and black culture. I do so boldly. No apologies. In fact, my boldness gives other people the authority or permission slip to be a little bit more firm in their backbones. Because we hold no punches. We pull no punches, and we never hold back. So, in that spirit, allow me to continue. Over the last couple days, we've been covering the LA riots. But folks, is this really a riot that's going on? Is that really what's going on? I mean, I love views like anybody else. But is this really a riot? I mean, you see some bad things. I'm sure if I went to your neighborhood, if you live in the inner city or maybe around some fentanyl users, I see some wild things if I looked at your hood. I'm just saying some things are getting a little wacky. I just want to make sure people understand the world is not on fire. In fact, not even all of Los Angeles is on fire. In fact, some people in LA didn't even know this shit was happening. That doesn't mean it's not happening. There's a lot of things going on that people don't pay attention to. But if you got the complexion for the protection from the collection, shout out to Paul Mooney. and you got the right address and zip code, you might not know anything, Johnson. I don't know, man. I felt it was necessary to make that statement. Because we got people jumping out the building, Johnson. I got people talking about moving to Cuba. Yeah. You know, you can go a lot of places tonight. You ain't going to hear that. But hey, that's beside the point. I mean, there are things happening that I can't report on. I just want to put them in proper perspective. I'm not here to add to your anxiety. I don't want to sensationalize this whole thing to hell. You know, it is what it is. We can talk about it rationally. We can look at what there is. And we also got to acknowledge that some things are done for political purposes. In fact, when you're dealing with political parties, Trump and the Democrats, all things are done for political purposes, right? I know some of you are thinking, Tim Black, you ain't got to say this, man. We know things are done for political purposes. But do you? Do you really know? If I didn't care, I wouldn't say it. I care, Johnson. I care that we're not just stoking fears. I care that I'm not adding to the anxiety of my wolf pack. That being said, let's get off into something. Now look, tonight we're diving into the LA protests. Tonight we are diving into the LA protests, rocking the nation. Actually rocking downtown Los Angeles. Sparked by ICE raids. And now with troops on the ground. To anybody who doesn't know, because you got a life to live, bills to pay, and kids to take care of, or maybe you've been walking your doggy, let me tell you how it started. Not long ago, protests erupted over ICE raids targeting undocumented migrants, part of Trump's mass deportation push starting June 6. Fear is gripping LA's immigrant communities. Troops sent 4,000 National Guards troops and 700 Marines to LA. Well, Trump sent them. A rare move without Governor Newsom's approval, sparking a legal battle. Over 500 arrests, police using tear gas, protesters throwing fireworks. A downtown LA curfew started June 10th, extended nightly. Let me tell you about that curfew just a little bit more. It could be in effect for the next couple of days, with the curfew continuing for a second night and expecting the last several days. It's about 1 square mile of downtown Los Angeles, specifically between the Golden State Freeway to Harbor Freeway and from Santa Monica Freeway to where Arroyo Seco Parkway and Golden State Freeway merge. I don't know any of this area. I've only been to LA once. So what would be the impact of the curfew? Well, it would impact fewer than 100,000 of LA's 4 million residents. So when I started looking at numbers like this, I had to put it in perspective and say, well, it was only going to impact 100,000 people, and you got 4 million residents. Maybe I should clarify. You know, they got some exemptions. We won't go into the exemptions. So here we go. That's where we are, Johnson. It's important to note, it is important to note that these protests that we're talking about in LA have extended to other states such as NYC, San Francisco, Austin, and more, with arrests, intense standoffs in multiple cities. Trump calls the protesters insurrectionists. I wonder why he does that. I know why he did it, because that's what they call protesters who went to the Capitol. Newsom and Mayor Bass slammed troop deployment. They call it authoritarian overreach. They've been saying that about Trump since he's been in office. Businesses and immigrant communities are quieter. Residents avoid public spaces. And activists report limited access to detainees. Media misinformation, and this is the part that's important for us, for me. Social media amplifies dramatic images. Burning cars, mass protesters, but officials say the violence is overstated. How many people out here believe? Do you think the federal troops in Los Angeles are helping or escalating? I'd like to know what you think. If you think it's helping, give me a 1. If you think it's not helping and it's escalating, give me a 0. The troops, not the deportations. Deportations, that's going to happen. But the troops, well, that's the part that's in contention. All right. And with that in mind, let's begin to go down a rabbit hole, so to speak, Johnson. My name is Tim Black. Once again, hit the like button as you prepare for the Tim Black Show. Let the algorithm know that what we're doing here matters and that it's worth seeing. Let's go.
Next on deck with Tim Black.
We the people! We the people! We the people!
Yeah, I have a Spanish last name, but I'm American. I was born in America. My parents came from Mexico, but they became United States citizens, like every other person should when they come to America. You don't do it after 30, 40 years. It's saying something. You're not paying taxes. You're getting free health care. You're getting all this stuff for free while us Americans, the middle class, are struggling. Yet, you want to show up your Mexican flag, that's fine. You know, I have Mexican culture, I have Mexican heritage that I respect, but America comes first. This is the country that gave me everything. I'm not going to come to a country or to another country that's going to give me stuff, give me shelter, give me a job, give me opportunities to make my own business, and then go and take the fucking flag and spit on it and burn it while holding up another country's flag. That means you're showing allegiance to another flag. You're showing allegiance to another country. It makes no sense. And most of the people that are...
Hold up, I want to stop right there because this is such an important video. And so much is in this video. This brother, I don't know who he is. He's on TikTok. I'm going to find him because I got to shout him out for one because I'm using his content. But the other thing is the points that he's making here. Because right now people are talking about black people not being involved, you know, in protesting and not in large numbers. I mean, there's a couple black faces in those places, but there has not been a large influx of black Americans participating in the protests in LA. But this brother just said something I find very unique. Now, we're going to step aside from the points he made about Mexicans and their allegiance to Mexico or to America for a moment. He said something, man. He said, how am I going to do this or do that or burn a flag or these things to a country that's given me so much? Think about that for a second. Let that sink into you. Because the Democrats are always talking about this black-brown coalition. I hear it all the time. I hear black people who I think, black American people, black Americans who I think are well-intentioned. They say it themselves. How can I do this? How can I treat them this way? Black Americans and brown Americans in such coalition. How are we going to be in coalition when we have different views of America? I mean, we might have some shared issues, right, in the present. But come on, Johnson. We don't have a shared past. Think about what he said. He said, look, I came to America, it gave me a job, it gave me a home, it gave me opportunity. And if you're in his shoes, and if you're in his shoes, and many people like him, he symbolizes not just himself. I got to imagine He's not an outlier. There are other people that feel the same way. This is probably why so many Hispanic folks voted for Trump. But look, how can Black America expect Latino Americans to rock with Black issues when Latino Americans' experiences are totally different and they're coming from a different background? And if you come to America and you're like this brother and you're saying, hey man, this country's giving me opportunity, us talking about the legacy of slavery probably don't hit for them all that hard, do it? Because they never experienced it. It's not in their background, right? They didn't suffer that in this country. They didn't go through Jim Crow. They come here and then they participate maybe in some mass incarceration, maybe in a bit of discrimination, but that's totally different. I mean, all immigrants got that to some extent. Latinos, Asians. So I just want to, I don't know, man, I want to broaden the conversation a bit. I want people to kind of let this part roll around, because when I get these Democrats and these liberals, they want to push this thing that Black and brown people need to stick together, work together, be a coalition. We can't get anything done on our own. They're missing a big point. Not everybody can relate to what we're going through. Be they Latin American, just because they got a little bit of brown in their skin or a little pigmentation, a little bit of melanin, doesn't mean they get it. Doesn't mean it's their plight. If a car's sitting on your foot and I'm standing next to you, you scream out, that blood curdling scream, I hear you, and I want to help you, but my urgency is not going to be as urgent as you because it's sitting on your foot. Is that hate? Is that indifference? Or is that just human nature? Let's keep going.
Protesting aren't even from Mexico. They're showing allegiance to another flag. You're showing allegiance to another country. It makes no sense. And most of the people that are protesting aren't even from Mexico. They're second or third generation Mexicans, which makes them American. America first. You don't like it, you don't like America, leave. And it's not about racism. This isn't about the Mexican culture. They're not getting deported because of their Mexican culture. They're getting deported because they came illegally and they didn't do it through the right process. That's why. Don't make it about race. It's not about race. Mexicans aren't the only ones that are being deported. They're the only ones that are being shown that are being deported. Barack Obama deported millions and millions of people. There wasn't any riots for them.
Now I know why Kamala Harris has been so quiet. Liberals, do you care to retort? Yeah, it's going to be a little hard throwing this guy under the bus. He's very much Mexican. He's very much given his experience. We got people complaining about America who are Americans. And they're complaining about the treatment of migrants or immigrants. And I brought this up the other day. I said, you know what? The people out in the street protesting, they can't be the people that are being targeted, because why would they go out in front of the police? I mean, it don't make sense, right? I mean, would you be outside if you had a warrant? Would you just be like, cops outside, let's go out there? Let's throw some rocks at the people that are most definitely here to lock my ass up if they found out I'm illegal or undocumented. It don't make sense. So what he's pointing at is something I brought up because the liberal media keeps on peddling the narrative that everyone out there is scared. Nah, they may be upset about a friend or the fact that they feel that neighbors, relatives are being harassed, or maybe they've been deported. Those people, but it's not those people that are out there. At least I don't think it is. And if it is, it's in very sparing numbers. I mean, if you are really risking being deported to go downtown, it ain't even in your neighborhood. If you're going to go downtown to LA, how many people live in downtown LA? That's why they're saying the numbers are pretty weak. So if you drive to a place to take part in a protest that turns violent, you have to seek that out because it ain't like it's knocking on your doorstep.
Stupid. Go Trump.
Absolutely.
I got to hear what you guys got to say about this, man. I really want to know what people are thinking right now, man. What are results of our poll? What are people saying? Are people getting this? Or people are they hands? St. Louis. Why step in the line of fire? It don't make sense. I mean, self-preservation is key for any human being. Even all forms of life will fight for its survival. Do you really think you're changing national policy by going out there? I mean, if you are risking being locked up, I mean, not just locked up, deported? I don't know, Johnson. Don't make sense to me. And once again, Buck Bewley says, stay out of the chat, Tim. Don't interact, Tim. You can't do it. These people are crazy. Buck Bewley's my moderator, man. He's been with us moderating. He's been a moderator for about 4 years, but he's been with the Tim Black Show as a Wolfpack member for about 12 years. Some crazy numbers. So we're going to take Buck's advice. You know what I'm saying? He's saying the chat is ugly. Yeah. He's probably right. Let's keep it moving, Johnson. We got more content to cover. Trump warns military parade.
Not, and good morning. It's really unfortunate that this is the kind of political and violent talk that is coming out of the president of the United States. Look, what this is a full-on assault on the democracy of the country, on our Constitution. The state of California and the city of Los Angeles have a right to be able to monitor their own incidents and handle their own incidents. By the president inserting the military into what is a domestic, a local issue. And the reason why, let's not forget why we are having problems in Los Angeles right now. Those problems came due to the large scale and violent confrontations, ICE agents in our community with migrant workers.
Large scale violent confrontations. Oh, she means serving warrants.
Tim Black's BS detector.
Tim Black's BS detector.
Tim Black's BS detector.
Allow me to demystify some of this for you so it's clear to you. A warrant by ICE is nothing but a warrant by another, police organization. That's all it is. It's just that California is a sanctuary city where they say we won't help the cops. We won't hold people. If we find somebody who commits a double whatever, I don't know, any type of infraction, and we find out they're undocumented, we're not going to let ICE know. We're just going to let them go home or go back to being within the community. That's what sanctuary cities do. They do not cooperate with ICE. It's a sanctuary from being deported. Sounds a lot like they don't want people to be deported. Like they don't want citizens to have to be American citizens. They don't want their population to have to be American citizens. Yeah, that's it. So that's sort of it. But there are other federal agencies that go to states all the time. I mean, the FBI, is one of them. Department of Homeland Security, which is, I'm pretty sure that's, part of ICE is within the Department of Homeland Security. But what I'm saying is, when she says that Trump like overstepped or Trump infiltrated or Trump, like, yo, California's not its own country. It's a United States state, a United States. It is under federal law. There are federal laws that supersede state laws. Yeah, okay, fine. California doesn't have to abide by ICE detentions. They do not have to abide and allow or hold people for ICE. We get that part. But the federal government is still allowed to conduct its business. So if there's a mill of trafficking going on in your state and they do an investigation, they find out it's in California, they don't have to stop at the border. It's just I just feel like the narrative is getting all sloppy. It's like they're making it seem like California is its own planet. And it's not its own planet. Right? Hence, when there's a natural disaster in California, it gets help from FEMA. You can get help from federal agencies. There's federal money in California, not just California-generated money. And as long as that's happening, then the laws of the United States itself also pertain to California. President Trump did deploy 2,000 National Guards, escalating to 4,000 troops and 700 Marines. The deployment was made without the consent of Governor Gavin Newsom, who called it illegal and deranged behavior. He filed a lawsuit against Trump. Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth suggested the possibility of further troop deployments to other cities, citing the need to protect federal personnel and maintain order. The Department of Homeland Security has issued or has used armed predator drones for high-altitude surveillance of protests in Los Angeles.
We cannot forget who the people are that the president is attacking. These are the people that are our child care providers. These are the people that are cleaning our hotel rooms.
Tim Black's BS detector.
Tim Black's BS detector.
Tim Black's BS.
Here we go again with the we need these people because we exploit the hell out of them for minimum wage jobs. That's what it sounds like. It sounds like a Jasmine Crockett reel of her greatest hits of why we got to have these people around because we don't want to pick no cotton. Well, you know what, guys? A lot of other places where there are not open sanctuary cities that actually have working class black and white, Latino and Asian people. You mean to tell me nobody works at any of these jobs other than migrants? I don't think that's the case. I think if you go places where there aren't migrants, you'll find all types of Americans doing these jobs, right? Yeah, it's like they want a permanent underclass who they could take advantage of. The problem is, hey man, jobs are a commodity in this country. And if you drive down wages, that becomes a problem. They want to make it all about race. Do you care? Who really cares the race of the person that's taking money out their pocket? I know I don't. Anybody ever broken your car? Were you so upset that they broke in your car? You ever had a car stolen? I remember back in the day, I got my wife, Mrs. Black, a Jeep. It was a Jeep Grand Cherokee. It was green. Ew. But it was a Jeep. It looked rugged. It rode okay. Not good. It was all we could afford, but I wanted her to have her own ish. Someone stole it. So basically, it wasn't that bad. It got stolen. When I got it back, the differential was garbage. Ow. I don't know how long or what they did to that car, man, but I had to get it detailed. It wasn't long for this world. The car, we had to let it go, put it out the pasture. But I'll tell you this, the look on Mrs. Black's face when she came out after work and her car was gone was not good. Never at any time when after a car was stolen, before we found it, was she like, I really hope somebody black stole it. She also never said, I really hope someone Latino stole it, or I really hope somebody white stole it, because nobody cares the color of the person taking money out of their pocket. No one cares who's suppressing wages. No one cares who's doing the crime when the crime impacts you. Democrats are just grasping at straws, man. They just want to pull at anything, you know? And for the record, there are not just people from Mexico being deported, man. I mean, save for a few African, whatever those people were, white South Africans Trump brought in to do his buddy Elon Musk a solid for all the campaign contribution money. Except for that, I mean, there'll be people being deported from Haiti, Honduras, Panama, Cuba, and Mexico. So yeah, it's just that the Mexican community seems to be the focus point. But yeah, if you undocumented, it's a potential that you may be deported.
Detector.
Where these ICE agents, by the way, are staying. These are the people that are cooking our food. These are our nurses. These are our teachers, our school principals. So we have to look at the humanity of the people that the president is utilizing.
I'm confused, Johnson. How you do all that and not get your paperwork straight? And I'm just trying to understand, man. How you do all that and not get your paperwork straight? You know, like, They are nurses, our doctors, our lawyers, our teachers, all these great things. Can they also get their paperwork straight? And if that's the case, where, you know, maybe look, man, if you're a Democrat or you're a liberal and you're pissed off at this broadcast, maybe you should consider asking your damn party, why isn't the party accelerated and focus all its attention on making people become documented? How about instead of hoping no Republican ever takes office, how about instead, when you get power, you focus on getting people documented? You focus on changing some shit. Because I don't know if you know this or not, but there's more than one party in this country, even though technically they kind of fuse together. At the end of the day, there are more than one party. And occasionally, a Republican will get office. And also, last thing, for the record, deportation is widely or wildly popular across the country, as in most Americans want people that are not Americans, citizens who are here illegally, to go through the legal process. You are the few. You, not me. You are the few. You are the outlier. You're the person going, the best way to help all the black people is to bring in all the people from around the globe to compete against the most disrespected, the most discriminated group in the country. Thanks a lot. Very pro-black. I appreciate you. You virtual signaling, sniveling liberal. What would we do without you? You really be helping us out in the hood. Virtual signaling. So, you know, you think it's going to get you in heaven quicker because you brought some people to the country that knocked my kids out of jobs or opportunities? Every house, we got a housing shortage. Where they going to live at? Where they going to stay? We all fighting for resources. Yeah, I know it's the government's fault, I know. But until we fix the government, what are we going to do till then? Oh, I get it. We get to suffer while you live fine in your suburban area at your parents' house, visiting Nantucket, going to Martha's Vineyard or some shit. What about the rest of us who can't go to Martha's Vineyard, dog? All of us can't hang out at the Bluffs, Heathcliff. You know what I'm saying?
as a political prop.
Next on Deck with Tim Black.
The reality is we see peaceful protests launching in Los Angeles. And again, any violence against police officers should not be accepted. Local authorities can handle that. But remember, a lot of these peaceful protests are being generated because the President of the United States is sowing chaos and confusion by arresting people who are showing up for their immigration hearings, who are trying to abide by the law.
Tim Black's BS detector.
Tim Black's BS detector.
Tim Black's BS detector.
Yeah, man. You know, man, there's every day, every 2 minutes, there's a warrant executed on an American citizen. Some of them are for DUI, DWI, some of them for simple shit like, didn't pay a bill or didn't pay a ticket, or I don't know, maybe they picked up some items at the checkout. It didn't ring up correctly. I don't know, man, but there's all types of warrants being served every minute of every day. What if we decided, us, Americans, Black Americans, white Americans, all Americans decided we're going to protest all these other damn warrants that come across our lives? What about if we did that? And if we all just got upset and said, we're going to start burning stuff because they serve warrants. There's been all types of situations in America where these consent decrees that have been ordered against these municipalities because their practices of basically preying on poor and working class and Black communities. That's what they do, The problem with warrants is that a lot of people get them. And the problem is, typically, it's the poor people that get those warrants. Because if you got money, you take care of the problem. My point is this, man. This is it. As angry as these people are about being deported, and I understand that, man, and I want to have empathy for it, because I get it. It sucks if you've been in this country your whole life, pretty much, or you came here, you weren't born here, but you came here so young, your parents brought you here, but you were not born here. That's a bad situation. Our immigration has to be corrected in order to repair or fix these situations. But I do not believe that the remedy for that should be all Black people take it on the chin until you get it together. We got people that have been here 10, 20, 30 years who ain't bothered to get their paperwork straight. That's a vulnerability for the rest of us. I don't know about you, but if you could consider just for a moment that maybe that's not the way we want to have our country run. When I say our country, the country we were born into. We didn't choose it. We were born here, just like our parents were born here. But being born here means we don't have anywhere else to go back to, and we get to lay claim to the place we were born. And we've paid into the system for generations. You know what's crazy, man, is I know that the average Mexican person or Honduran person, Guatemalan person, Haitian person, whoever, they get what I'm saying. How could you not? I mean, unless you are dense, you get it. You from somewhere. You understand what it's like. It's just you don't want to get it. And the liberals want to act like we are uncaring. Like we are selfish. Nah, man, I don't think Black Americans been selfish enough, to be honest with you. We played a lapdog for the Democrats, giving them our votes 90 to 95% of the time. This last election was the only time we ever said in the last 60 years, buck the system at all about voting for them suckers. And what happened? Every damn Democrat talking point head, every elitist, every Hollywood actor with brown skin came out to call us names and berate us for not going along. Every one of them that had something to say was something negative about us not supporting and still we supported the Democrats more than any other group. So yeah, to me, I don't think we fight hard enough. I don't think we push back hard enough. I don't think we've abstained hard enough. I don't think we have resisted you hard enough, Democrats. So this deployment or this deportation, mass deportation, they're going to happen. They've been happening. We'll see how long it lasts. But to blame what's going on in LA, going on in downtown LA on Trump, is to admit you don't want to abide by the laws of the country and you're not a citizen. To me, that's crazy.
Senator, what do Democrats mean when they say that the LA protests are peaceful? Senator, what do Democrats mean when they say that LA protests are peaceful?
Thank you.
Do you consider burning private property peaceful?
Don't miss the point, you all. Don't think that somehow, because they called out the National Guard, there was violence. There was no violence. I was on the street. I know. He started this. There should be no violence. He should not continue to support violence. They should not be edged on and, provoked in any way. And that's what the President of the United States is doing, to exert his power and to show that he's in charge and to show that he's going to get the numbers that he promised to get people deported. And
Tim Black's BS detector.
Tim Black's BS detector.
Lord, take the wheel. Representative Maxine Waters, have you considered retirement? Real talk. How long we gonna do this? I mean, how long we gonna do it? Yesterday you say, hey, there was no violence. I was out there. I didn't see no violence. Do your eyes work? There's footage of violence. Now, today, she's like, if there was violence, it's because Trump egged it on. I looked at a lot of footage. I didn't see Trump out there. It's come to my understanding that Maxine Waters, the majority of her staff, are Latino migrants. I don't know, man. Are you also taking advantage of underpaying people? Or is it that them black people be asking for too much? Huh? Black people want too much, huh? I don't know. I could say mean things to Maxine Waters. I'm choosing not to. You know, Los Angeles has a history of being a hub for civil rights and immigration rights movements. Combined with its diverse demographics, it makes it a focal point for these protests. Past events like the 1965 Watts riots, the 92 Rodney King riots provide historical context. But this ain't that. This is ICE raiding facilities where people there are probably undocumented and also investigating companies that are hiring them and have human trafficking like hiring practices, all of which are illegal. The former, not criminal, but illegal, subject to deportation the first time. Afterwards, you can't be incarcerated. This idea that this is not illegal, it's not against the law, is bogus. If you jaywalk, you get a ticket. If you're undocumented, you get deported. That's your ticket.
Tim Black's BS detector. Next on deck with Tim Black.
Troops there, because you can't deny the imagery that you're seeing. There are cars being lit on fire. There are police officers being attacked. There are guardsmen being attacked.
Though?
So to be honest, I don't really care if you're hurting police officers, if you're damaging property. That you should get your day in court for.
Nothing was happening like that until they sent this.
But this is where it's on the governor to say, let's make this the biggest peaceful protest in history. But the second it gets violent, the governor needs to crack down and show he's capable of policing.
I'm sorry.
Next on deck with Tim Black.
Let me offer a few numbers. The first number I'll offer is a percentage, 74%. That's the percentage of Republicans who say we should cut taxes even if it increases the deficit. That is well above, I think, the 22% who felt that way in 1992. I'll offer some other numbers as well. How about Mike Pence's net favorable rating, which was north of 70 points, plus 70 points among Republicans before Trump went after him. Now,
months pregnant. A near
Trump. It is Elon Musk.
What's happening right now is very different than anything we've seen before. On Saturday morning, when federal agents jumped out of an unmarked van near a Home Depot parking lot, they began grabbing people, a deliberate targeting of a heavily Latino suburb. A similar scene played out when a clothing company was raided downtown. In other actions, a U.S. citizen, 9 months pregnant, was arrested. A 4-year-old girl taken. Families separated, friends quite literally disappearing.
Supervisor Barger, let me first ask you this. Are the protests or the ICE raids having a bigger impact on the city of Los Angeles?
Well, right now, I would argue the protests are having a bigger impact on what is taking place downtown. I mean, this is not peaceful protests. These are anarchists who are going in and really opportunists. They're taking advantage of a situation that unfortunately continues to escalate. So
I want to make an underline here. I want to stand on this point because as Buck tells me that, don't go to the chat, Tim, it's a bunch of crazy people acting crazy, they're trolling or they're going hard in the paint for their side. I want to add this in there because she just said something that I don't think you hear on CNN or MSNBC, even though she said it. 150 people were deported or arrested or deported during the raids, the ICE raids. You know how many people were arrested protesting? 500. So here's the thing. 3 times more people were adjudicated or arrested or put into the system protesting than actually being detained and arrested by ICE or deported by ICE. Get what I'm saying? So when you say everything that's being done is being done because ICE raids, and even that many ICE raids happening, I keep hearing people say, is that much violence? Who are they locking up then? Who are the LAPD and other authorities arresting? Are they going to people's houses and arresting them for protesting? Or are they arresting them in the streets protesting? I think they're arresting them in the streets. That's what I think. They're out there. And don't tell me everybody who's out there protesting got arrested. No. So we're talking probably to the tune of thousands have been in the streets. Once again, only 150 people were arrested by the ICE raids. Just because they went into a facility, just because they questioned people, doesn't mean they got arrested or deported. Of those deportees and of some of those arrests, they said there were some people that had serious charges. If you're working at Home Depot, you're working at this other place they're talking about, do you really want to work next to people who are felons, who are running from the law? I mean, do you really want to? I know for some reason California doesn't have a problem with it. But do you have a problem with it? I know I don't want my wife working with people that who carry felonies, who are on the run. They may be a little desperate. They do some desperate things. I'm just saying. So let's put a little bit of context with some of the uproar. And for the record, Nobody who does this, commentate, has anything to do or controls what your state does or doesn't do. Trump told you 4 years ago he was going to do mass deportations. He freaking ran on it. And you know what? You would have been a lot more prepared and took him a lot more seriously if you weren't being lied to by Joe Biden, who didn't have a snowball's chance in hell, I should say, of being reelected to anything except a nursing home. Maybe then you would have been more prepared. And maybe if they wouldn't have blacked out all of Trump's speeches and rallies, maybe you would have sat down long enough to watch one and realize he was talking about this shit from the door. He was talking about doing what he's doing now back when he first started his campaign in 2021 or something. The fact that they didn't put him on TV on CNN and MSNBC for you liberals to see him doesn't mean he wasn't talking about it. Doesn't mean it wasn't in the works. Why do you think so many Latinos crossed over and voted for him, Goofy? Because they don't want to compete against people who got nothing to lose. All right, let's go.
Right now, my concern are the protesters, not the peaceful, which we saw when they were downtown supporting, David Huerta. I think it's important for us to recognize that they are coming in peace, but there are those that are embedded that are really attacking law enforcement. This is not about ICE. This is about completely dismantling law enforcement.
Spoke to about 5 people that live in LA, that work in LA, and they said that these protests were very, very orderly. They weren't violent, and they occurred in about a 4-block radius.
Mm-hmm.
And we all.
What I find interesting is how come these networks aren't interviewing the protesters? There's a selective shielding going on. Yep. They know the protesters are the worst spokesman for the protest. So as the media, we'll take care of that for you. We don't need to interview them. We will be, your spokesman. And their delusional commentary alongside the videos of the rioters and the arson is a perfect juxtaposition of reality and ideology. You know, our eyes, we can see the destruction, but their mouths are trying to get into our ears, telling us it's mostly peaceful, but there's no better persuasion than the visual. Every video strengthens Trump's position and reminds us how wrong the media was on everything from the summer of love to the fall of Biden. A little seasonal pun there. But let's get to Stelter and all these other losers. Do you ever wonder who the media is talking to? It's not the public. They no longer watch or believe or care what these people have to say. The media is talking to the media. CNN, MSNBC, they are reduced to being the homeless man muttering to his reflection in a CVS window. When he nods, so does his reflection.
Okay, so Donald Trump says he's doing this to restore order. He wants to restore order in L.A. Yeah, do I think there's a possibility that Trump may be getting a little bit of payback to L.A.? Yeah. Two things can be true at the same time. It could be a little bit of payback in there, but it also could be to restore order. Two things. Gavin Newsom says, hey, he objects. Newsom and Bass, Mayor Bass, they object, say it's escalation and overreach on the behalf of Donald Trump. Yeah, do they probably think, why is Trump meddling in our business? Yeah, they probably do. Do they think he's overreaching? They probably do. But they'd say negative things about Trump no matter what he did. That's what they've been doing. That's what they're going to continue to do. Gavin Newsom's running. It's no secret. He's planning on running in 2028. What's he going to do? Say positive things? Act like Trump's a good guy to him? No. What's Mayor Bass going to do? So all this is pretty much predictable.
But they can't see this. It's no longer a blind spot. It's a complete total eclipse. And probably the biggest change in culture is the emancipation of the public from the legacy media. We are free from these zombies.
Let's start with the most preposterous part of this speech. This is night number 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 nights of riots and looting and violence on the streets of his principal city. And Gavin Newsom uses this opportunity to give a speech against Donald Trump, not about the rioters, not about the people who are out there committing the crime. NBC, other networks are saying this is the first step in his presidential ambitions, and basically this is what's going to make Gavin Newsom president. Well, if that's the case, let me be the first to salute President J.D. Vance in 2028, because that's what's going to happen whether Democrats like it or not if this is their main guy.
We can always go back to January 6th and ask why weren't the National Guard called in then when police officers were being attacked.
I can tell you why. Hold on. I can tell you why. Go back to Nancy Pelosi's own words.
The president had an opportunity.
Because I think you're an honest man. Hold on. I want to go on first. True or false? Did they say to Nancy Pelosi that if you want to go ahead and bring in the National Guard and others, we will more than happy do that? And Nancy Pelosi was the one that said no.
The president
True or
fanned the
false?
flames in
True or
every
false?
January 6th?
Yes. Beforehand, they said we will give you the resources before January 6th, and she said no.
Guys,
everybody, just 1 second. Let me just get everybody one at a time.
Am I right?
I want John to just answer that quick question.
The Capitol Police went to the architect of the Capitol and the sergeant at arms from both houses. The chief of the Capitol Police does not know who they went to, but let's assume they went to their political leadership.
Pelosi said this.
And
that's what she said.
And that they said they didn't want the National Guard brought in. They wanted them on standby. The day of the riot, Nancy Pelosi and Chuck Schumer are on the phone saying, "Can we get the National Guard?"
Yeah, I want to stop there for a second, guys, because I've been trying to find that. I've been trying to find this statement. This is important. I have not been able to verify this statement here that this guy made, that Nancy Pelosi admits that Trump offered to bring in the National Guard and she declined for January 6th at the Capitol. I can't find it. I wanted to verify it. I wanted to include it in this live stream. I've heard it repeated over and over by Republicans, but I've yet to hear it or see it from the actual Pelosi. Yeah, I know Trump said it. I'm not talking about him. I'm talking about Pelosi. I want to see it come out of her mouth. If you have the video clip, that's not AI, Don't go make a clip. You have a video clip of Nancy Pelosi making a statement saying, I was offered by Donald Trump to bring in the National Guard and I refused. Please send that to Tim at timblackTV.com, because for the life of me, I cannot find that sucker. Where is it at? One other point. If Trump can bring in troops without the authority, overriding the authority of Gavin Newsom in California, he damn sure could have brought in troops at the Capitol who don't have a governor. Who's going to stop him? Mayor Bowser? She can't even keep Black Lives Matter Boulevard up in her own damn city. She couldn't keep the Redskins being called the Redskins, the Capitals being called the Capitals, but all that happened before her. I'm just giving her the business there. But I'm saying, she couldn't keep black women from wearing bonnets at Reagan National. I'm being difficult. The point is, she couldn't keep Ben's Chili Bowl open on Sundays. The point is this. I keep hearing this people repeating this idea that Donald Trump wanted the National Guard on January 6th. I need evidence, Johnson. Just evidence, that's all. Tap a conservative and have them send that over. Pronto.
Pelosi and Chuck Schumer are on the phone saying, "Can we get the National Guard?"
Oh, I love this clip. This is showing you just how great these protesters are. Yeah. These are protesters who want with their damn car. Well, don't want to move out the way so this sister can drive her damn car. All those cars are blocked. They're blocking intersections. You know, to thwart people going to work because that's what people do. That's why they passed a law in Florida. You can run these people over because it's annoying. Here we go.
If I know that these people are having their children taken and their parents, what about my kids? I lose my job today. Then what happens to my kids? I can't help it. But you can if you could just move off the land. You're not going to. How is this a peaceful protest if there's nothing to do? No, it's not.
How do you all as white people feel about stopping a black woman from going to work?
Oh no, not work. I care so much.
So you don't care about stopping black people from going to work?
Look at this line that you guys are causing. I'm not causing no problems. I'm not trying to. We're just trying to leave.
And secondly,
yeah, he seemed real concerned. He said, oh, black woman going to work. Ooh, oh no. We're trying to stop people from being deported who look like me. Why would I care about you, people like you, who got to pay bills? Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Do you get where I'm going with it now? You get what I'm going? These direct actions get messy. I don't care who you are, that's what happens. But it's not a good look when you're on camera going, oh no, jobs. Something I don't care to have. That's why I'm out here. How you think I got out here? I don't. Meanwhile, that guy's got a trust account. His people gave him money. He ain't got to work for a living. Him good. What do you think he's doing there at 11 a.m. in the morning? How you think he pulled that off? Flex schedule? Nah, he's not working. Neither is the other lady. I'll tell you, man, a lot of the people that have time, the energy, and the wherewithal and the financial stability to be out here doing this are not the people that are actually impacted. Because them people went to work.
are you concerned at all that there are people out there who say, well, the city of Los Angeles is harboring dangerous individuals?
No, I think that is fiction. Are there dangerous individuals that are here in Los Angeles? Yes. Are we harboring them? No.
If you will not turn over people who you know have committed violent crimes to ICE to be deported, instead let them back out into LA, it may not be harboring, but it's pretty close. I mean, you necessitated their ability to be free and not be deported. Where if not for you, they'd be gone. But they got families somewhere, so this whole thing, man, this is why it's so disgusting, man. And listen, so many of us have dealt with, and so many family members, friends, neighbors have dealt with the criminal justice system and have been doing so for so many years. We get, system fatigue. Okay? That's what we got. In this whole situation, when we got folks who think that they are, exempt, like they shouldn't have to deal with the system. But their paperwork ain't straight. If your paperwork's not straight, how are you any different than anybody else has to deal with the system? I mean, and also, dealing with the system, whether you know it or not, undocumented person is as American as apple pie, baby. I don't know how you lasted this long without getting pulled by somebody. Well, we know how they last in California because they do not turn over people for being undocumented. That's why they have such a humongous undocumented population. And if you are Donald J. Trump and you have ran on deportation, mass deportation, where would you go? Except places where there are large numbers of people who should be deported if you follow federal laws. And once again, this ain't about a moral dilemma. This isn't about what you feel morally about the country. You may think America should open the door to everybody, their mother, their cousin, the whole planet should all live in America. I know you think that. But for the rest of us who have to live here, who disagree with you, we might have an objection or two. We're like, calm down, Sparky. This ain't making sense, Mrs. Joker Face. What are you going to do for us? How does it help us? How does it help us? It doesn't help us. In fact, studies have been done, multiple studies have been done to show that immigration, whether legal or illegal, negatively impacts black men. And if it negatively impacts black men, it negatively impacts black women. And if it negatively impacts black men and black women, it negatively impacts children. But all of a sudden, nobody careth. I wonder why no one cares. Maybe because no one really gives a shit about black Americans except black Americans. I mean, that's how it begins to sound. That's how it looks from this side of the ball. You know, it's almost worthy of getting a gold star for standing up for migrants or immigrants or undocumented or illegal people, illegal migrants. You almost get a gold star. If people want to buy you a Coke and join your Patreon and throw money at you. But when you want to stand up for black Americans, the opposite happens. That's not very progressive, Johnson. Why is it standing up for migrants and immigrants and other groups makes you the subject of claps and cheers? And standing up for black Americans make you the recipient of boos and hisses and claims of being divisive. No one calls you divisive for standing up for migrants, do they? Check your paperwork. Maybe you're on the wrong side of this issue. Maybe what impacts us is a good reason for us not to support it. Self-preservation matters. It went for black people if it wasn't for black people practicing self-preservation, wouldn't be no more black people in America. I mean, you know, except for the few John Browns that be rolling around. Shout out to Buck Bewley. Amen. Some Black Mamba. Let's keep going, Johnson. We having fun now.
I think that the idea that what is going on here is chaos and we need federal intervention is just not accurate. It doesn't paint an accurate picture of what's going on here at all. And really what is going to help would be an end to the raids. For a city not to know when, where, how, or why raids take place, you can imagine that the entire population of immigrants is very unsettling. I also have to tell you an example of people who went to their annual appointments. You know, they're here legally, they have papers, they're supposed to check in with the immigration office once a year. Even they've been detained. So I don't think that there is a crisis here that is happening at all, except for one manufactured by Washington.
To my black brothers and sisters out there that are the ones that are posting all this, oh, we just gonna mind our business. And I saw somebody earlier making T-shirts of.
I like the fact that whoever put this video out did a split screen so we could see his face, because he's about to tell the blacks how the blacks are wrong, that the blacks got to link up with the Browns because he's white, therefore he's right. This is always fun. Let's go.
Like a group of like 6 black people, black men and women sitting on a bench, texting on phones while the country is burning up behind them. Let me explain something.
The country ain't burning up behind us, Goofy. It's not burning up. It's a couple blocks in downtown LA. And the people that there are undocumented, as in not citizens of this country. Why don't you go talk to white people? They made the laws. Go talk to your cousins. Hey, why don't you go talk to your cousins? Sparkles. Yeah, go talk to them, Bradley. Because I'm pretty sure they're the ones that made the laws. They're probably the major numbers of ICE members. And all other things you don't like. Why are you talking to black people about what black people need to do? We ain't did enough. Every Latino person that comes to this country is able to live in an apartment anywhere that white people would ever want to be at. Owes us, not the other way around. Every Latino person that can get on a bus and sit where they want owes us, not the other way around. Black people literally got shot in the face for that to happen. And we got this goofball not only appropriating our culture and our aesthetic, but now he wants to come tell us what to do on some moral high ground because he's a bum ass. That he could tell us that we're not looking at this clearly enough. Hence why I stopped being around this level of progressive. It ain't progressive, it's racist. Not all black people rock with you. Not all black people even vote Democrat. Not all black people vote. Not all black people think everyone should be in America on the benefits. Let's hear him out, Johnson. Hear a little bit more.
Something to you guys. Let me explain something to you. When they get done with the brown people, they'll be coming after you. And if you don't think that's true, you got another motherfucking thing coming.
Why are you cussing, goofball? Let me educate you. Let me tell you something, Andy, Bashir, Richie Cunningham, Popeye. This whole idea that once they get done with Latinos, they're coming for blacks. I told Van Lathan the same thing. It's bullshit. White America itself doesn't try out things on the browns and then work its way down to the blacks. They already did it to the blacks, goofy. They tried it out on black Americans, then they moved it to other groups. America got so good at discriminating against black people, they patented and shipped that process over to South Africa. Where'd you think they got their apartheid system from? Us! By the way they treated black Americans, that's the way they treated Mexicans or Guatemalans or Hondurans. So your historical reference is wrong, it's incorrect. The way they're treating Mexicans is a slither of how they treated black Americans. The reason when you can't see that is because you're either dim or you're unaware of historical accuracy. Our entire police system is structured on how white America or America at large treated black people who wanted to be free, to seek, retain. We were the property. So this is kind of basic, but like if you don't understand these elements, man, and then they come up here and this, I don't know, insult everybody black because you don't know shit. Yeah. Black Americans, we're not about to face problems because we didn't listen. It's simple. You got a warrant, a deportation warrant by a court, or you arrived here illegally without going through the process, or you overstayed your visa, whoever that was. So now you're subject to deportation. You sound like Joe Biden, which is a scare tactic that, oh, they're going to put you back in chains. Earth Tub, Vanilla Ice, they already got us in chains, Goofy. It's called the 14th Amendment. It never ended.
This is bigger than you, okay? Because let me explain another thing to you. You sit back and watch millions of brown people be kidnapped and removed from this country. When they do come after you, there's going to be nobody left to stand up for you.
I'm good with that. Don't stand up for me. Go sit down like you've been doing. Yeah, go do what you've been doing. Go ahead. Go finish. Part of the discrimination that Black Americans face is due to the Latino population. And also, it's carried out by a lot of Latino people. A lot of Latino people do not like Black people. Hence the way Latinos treat dark-skinned Latinos. It's completely documented, goofball. You know, maybe you should talk to people that are, I don't know, Latino maybe, then you'd understand that. Because then in Latino, with any decent ethics, honesty at all, they would deny the colorism, racism that's in their countries in Latin America. Basically, they follow white supremacist ideals too. Sort of like you pointing your finger at Black people like that's a winner. Who you think's bigging up this video? You know who.
And when they're coming after you, how are you going to feel when people are sitting on the sideline like, oh, we just going to mind our business? Fuck all this other dumb.
We going to feel like it's just another day in the neighborhood. What's today? Wednesday. We going to feel like it's another Wednesday, baby, because ain't nothing new about that. That's par for the course, man. That's how it be. That's why we over here sitting down. And we're going to continue to be over here sitting down. Them Latinos you complaining about voted for Trump. Them white boys you roll with, your cousins, your brother, your dad, voted for Trump. Stop looking for Black people to save you. Save yourself. And you can. Become documented. Ta-da! Oops, didn't need nobody. Stop looking for Black men and Black women to save you. I'm not your magical Negro, Hudson. You got anything else to say that I need to go over?
Shit, what do it, man? No, it's not the time for that. Power to the people. It's time to.
You even co-oping our fists, son. Look at this guy. I hope you went viral. I hope it worked out for you. I hope you made a couple dollars. I'm pretty sure you made a couple enemies. Brad spit.
Come together.
Tim Black's BS detector.
Tim Black's BS detector.
Tim Black's BS detector.
Want to know the wildest part about the president of Mexico calling for Mexican Americans to protest in the United States is? It's that exact same behavior is illegal in Mexico. Article 33 of the Mexican Constitution says that foreigners are prohibited from engaging in political activities, including demonstrations, as this is considered interference in national affairs. And participation in those activities can lead to detention and deportation. So what the president of Mexico is telling Mexicans in America to do, she doesn't allow in her own country. And she deports anyone who does it. So what she's calling for is all these illegal immigrants to protest against the deportations, when in her own country, if you did protest as a foreigner, it would get you deported. That is the height of hypocrisy. Telling people to do something in another country that you don't even allow in yours. Now I understand why the Democrats and liberals like her so much. She's just like them.
Especially
I gotta give it up for this guy. This guy right here, that was epic. Oh, Jesus. I had no idea. Yeah, I just assumed that Mexico was super friendly to undocumented people in their country. Yeah, I just assumed that what they're pushing for people to do here in this country is gotta be legal in Mexico for us to do. I mean, that would only make sense. How could you tell somebody to do something over there, but won't let them do it in your house. Go to Joey's house and swing around on the jump up and down on stuff and wear your shoes indoors and track mud through the place and burn their flag. You do it here, we're going to lock your ass up and deport you. But go over there and do it. How dare they be fascists and not allow you to wipe your butt on their good drapes? This is the hypocrisy, man. And you think this guy, I mean, he's probably a smart guy, obviously, right? But you think that all the Congress people don't know this shit? You really think Jasmine Crockett and Cory Booker and Elizabeth Warren doesn't know? You think Ben Cardin or what's his name? Chuck Schumer doesn't know that Mexico, what goes here, would never go in Mexico. You think they don't know that? You really think that the TikTok guy is breaking new ground? Huh? You think, oh God, I didn't know. And they're going to put this on the floor tomorrow? Huh? They know. And you really think, you don't think Jake Tapper, the MSNBC lady crying, Stephanie Rule, or whoever her name is, whatever, MSNBC, you think they really don't know? You think they got staff for people to look stuff up. You don't think they know that the laws, the immigration laws in other countries are a lot more strict than our country? Once again, guys, look, for the record, hey, America loves exploiting people. We've been exploiting people like nothing. Like, other than like reality TV and music, our number one exporter, in bombs. Gotta have the bombs. Gotta have bombs. War, death, destruction. That's our number one, that's our chief export. But other than that, once you get past bombs, Hollywood and music, then you have, bad policy. Yeah, man. America loves exploiting people. It's what we've been doing since day one. America's been exploiting people since before America was America. That's how good we at it. It's in our genes, the exploitation part. So don't get it twisted. America's happy to exploit all the Hondurans and Guatemalans, Mexicans and Haitians and Nigerians and anybody else who'll come over here. China, there's a lot of people coming from China too. Taiwan, a lot of Asian people coming across the southern border. Okay? They love to exploit you. It's just you gotta get your paperwork right. You gotta sign a waiver. That's your, you know what? It's like signing a waiver at a Diddy party. You know what I'm saying? He's got the baby oil waiting, but you gotta make you sign it and put away your phone first. He's the only one allowed to film. Goofy. That's America, man. Where you think we got Puffy? Puffy didn't fall out of a coconut tree. He came from us. That's how we do business. Somebody taught Puffy. Someone taught Weinstein. He didn't invent shit. So let's be grown-ups here. If you want to be exploited, go put your phone back in your car and sign this non-disclosure agreement.
And liberals like her so much. She's just like them.
Especially of the graffiti that is just blanketing a number of blocks, has been extensive. We are 1 year away from the World Cup. This is about beautifying our city and bringing our city together. And so I am calling on business leaders, community leaders, faith leaders to come together downtown in the next few days to talk about how we are going to clean up the city.
Why we got to clean up the city? There's nothing going on. I thought it was just peaceful get-togethers of good citizens having conversation and drinking some matcha tea and just relaxing by the fire. That's the police car on fire, that is. And writing FU on the walls. What's going on? What's going on, Bass? What's happening? Sound a little bit like you're contradicting yourself there, sister.
Obviously, city workers are already out there removing the graffiti, but this is so extensive, it's going to take community-wide involvement. We had launched a program called Shine LA a couple of months ago.
Shoe Shine LA. Really? That's what you did? How's that whole current bass thing working out for y'all over there?
Preparation for the World Cup, and now we are called on to direct that citywide. We need people from all over the city to come to downtown and to help with this effort. A week ago, everything was peaceful in the city of Los Angeles and in all of the representatives behind me in their cities as well. Things began to be difficult on Friday when raids took place, and it's important that I begin there because
yeah, I didn't see a raid going on there. I just saw a guy standing on his car.
that is the cause of the problems that have happened in the city of Los Angeles and other cities. This was this was provoked by the White House. The reason why, we don't know.
Next on deck with Tim Black.
Next political parfait layer, Newsom embracing his role as Trump antagonist in chief, perhaps as a precursor to a 2028 run for commander in chief. Because of this, Newsom is going seemingly beyond the typical political condemnations, out there seemingly egging Trump on in very strong fashion. Take a look.
After me, arrest me. Let's just get it over with. They're just weakness masquerading as strength. They're cosplaying. If you want to be president, you might as well play the part as president. At least fake it. Do the right thing. Stand back, and we'll clean up your mess.
Governor Newsom's press office this afternoon even mocking Trump, reposting a TikTok that reads a Trump Truth Social post using the AI-generated voice of Star Wars villain Emperor Palpatine.
A once great American city, Los Angeles, has been invaded and occupied by illegal aliens and criminals.
May the force be with us all, because this whole political battle boils down to this. Trump, right now, using the federal government to crack down on undocumented immigrants, as he vowed to do as a candidate, and as a Democratic governor in a sanctuary state, is hell-bent on standing up to him for doing that and protecting those undocumented immigrants. Those are the polarized interpretations to a federal government that for years...
Yeah. Jesus Christ. Thought I was long-winded, Johnson. Give it a rest, Tapper. Tap out, Tapper. Yeah, man, you know, Gavin Newsom, he's a waste of space. Yeah, he really is. But what he's trying to do is strategic. You know, you got to take on Trump. I mean, just think about it. Who knew who the hell Jasmine Crockett was a year ago or 2 years ago? Didn't know who she was. Now people know who she is. Why? Because she went after Trump relentlessly. 50 videos, all against Trump, everywhere she could. Trump. Then when he responded, he broke my hand. He's picking on me. And then you go the other way. Then you go play victim. Well, Gavin Newsom knows this is the only way he's going to get enough publicity is to engage with Donald Trump. And fortunately, good for him, Trump's striking back. So, yeah, and Trump's not a popular guy in California, so help him. It is what it is. But the thing is, he's going to need it because he lost a lot of black support in California with his denial of reparations blocking that bill. So I don't know what they plan to do, what he's planning to do about the black vote in California. But yeah, it's pretty obvious what he's trying to do. He's trying to short things up. And we'll see how that works out for him. I got it not being so great. But if it's just him and Kamala, which it won't be, you have a better chance. Speaking of Kamala Harris, where's Kamala Harris? All I heard is a statement she put out from her office. That's weird. How are you going to be a former attorney general and a senator and then have this going on in downtown LA and be like, quiet? Someone said Tim Black, at least she knows when she's out of her depth. Nah, man, that's like you giving someone, that's like you just give somebody free points. No. She is a former attorney general, lead prosecutor, and a senator, and a vice president. And this is her home state. And she's like, quiet? What? Nah, that would not be allowed for anybody else. But just the level of bending over backwards to try to make Kamala look acceptable. Y'all just tripping. Y'all won't stop, will you? You just won't stop. Tim Black, you're picking on her. You're a Trump supporter. No, I just don't like Democrats. I'm a Democratic hater. I admit that. But I'm not a Republican. I give them the business too. It's just they're boring. And it's something 95% of black people in media do. They shit on the Republicans. So I'm kind of an outlier, but that doesn't mean I support Trump or support the Republicans. But I can say there are policies I like and policies I don't. Open borders hurt black Americans. Therefore, I dislike them. Can't stand them. Will not abide them. Will go after whoever did it. And in this case, it was the Democrats. Republicans did not do that. So, yeah. I don't think black people have a luxury of being all hemmed up on a party. They got to be focused on their best interest. And this is a good litmus test to find out if black Americans know what their best interest is, or they got to be told what their best interest is by liberals.
Has failed in a bipartisan fashion to upgrade its immigration laws in a way that meets the moment.
Lead on this issue by 8 points over Democrats, more so than any other, where it all kind of comes together. 6 points underwater. So immigrant citizens have become increasingly unfavorable in their views of those immigrants who are here illegally. So I think it's so immigrants who are here illegally among immigrant citizens, again, those registered to vote. In 2020, look at this, plus 23 points on the net favorable rating. But look at where we were in 2024, minus 6 points underwater. So immigrant citizens have become increasingly unfavorable in their views of those immigrants who are here illegally. So I think it's so important when we're talking about this debate from a political angle to separate those out who are undocumented immigrants versus those who are here legally and those who are citizens and those who are voters, because that group of voters has felt increasingly distant from those immigrants who are here legally. And so again, when we're talking about this, at least from a political angle, this is why Donald Trump feels so comfortable, because in fact, amongst the group that you would think that would be most opposed to this, in fact, they become increasingly favorable, not just towards Donald Trump, but towards a Republican point of view on immigration and becoming distant from those immigrants who are here illegally.
Next on deck with Tim Black.
Yeah, which is something I've been pointing out. So there's a number of, why is it, let's just guess. Why would Latino voters who are U.S. citizens be favoring Trump's approach? It isn't racism, right? Because it's their own people, right? Why would they favor it? Let me guess. They hate women. Yeah, they're women haters, right? Is that it? Or they don't like trans people, right? Right? Because it's always that. It can never be. It's just their best self-interest. It's like their actual lives. Can never be that. It's always got to be some ulterior motive that's caked in something racist or biased or something. It can never be just, it's not a good look for their families. That's it. That's all. In the press conference. If we ever could wrap our heads around that, well, then maybe then. So if you want me to coordinate, or you want black Americans to be in solidarity with somebody, let's be in solidarity with people that have a shared interest, not a shared pigmentation or something. Now that's just liberal Democrat talk. In fact, we should link up with anybody who has a shared interest. Not just people of color. Who even says that except liberals? Yeah. All right, guys, that's all I got for tonight. Thank you for tuning in. Remember, Only you can prevent forest fires. Or CHP, California Highway Patrol, car fires. Keep up the good work. Let's go to the comment section. Who's in the building? Oh, man. There's a lot of conversations, Johnson. People are going at it, Johnson. I try to tell you. Ooh, people are fired up. Look, man, go to the Tim Black website, timblacktv.com. Become a member of the Tim Black Wolfpack by joining the Tim Black VIP here on YouTube, or join us on Patreon. Be a part of the solution, baby. Tim Black Mug. TimBlackMug.com, $20 to your door. Also, I'm available. Private conversations on these topics. Let's build. Go to TimBlackConsulting.com. And last but not least, get your Juneteenth on and your other dope designs, t-shirts, and other things for your home. It's softformclassic.com. I'm sorry, one other, go to WeTheFree.com and get your guns and politics on. WeTheFree.com or WTF.tv. That's a lot, man. That's 4 things to do. Pick one. One of them's up your alley. You need clothes, Softform Classic. You rock with the Tim Black Wolfpack, join TimBlack.com. And if you want to check out a new network of content, go to WeTheFree.com. We doing it, Johnson. Let's go. Man, I cannot, man, YouTube has, I don't know what's up with StreamYard. They need to be fixing my super chat. I can't even get my super chats. Shot caller 27. What? Shot been around for about 10 years, man. What up, brother? What's up, brother? How many likes we got? We're at the 400 mark. I have no idea. We near 400. What's up, people? Hit the like button on the way out the door. How you gonna be the former border czar who sat on your flat behind the whole time, then have the audacity to speak on immigration? Would she speak against deportation? Because she is against deportation. She's for open borders. Hence, being quiet as a church mouse, stuck in a trap for a few hours. Who didn't say anything under her administration? We looked right in the camera and said there was nothing she changed that Joe Biden did. So yeah, she could speak, but it would not be, it wouldn't be what we want to hear, but it would be what she thought. And that's another thing. Whether we agree with her or not, she should be speaking because she wants to be a leader of the Democratic Party. How are you going to be a leader but not speak? And it's right in your backyard. That's crazy. Now, I don't know if she moved back to LA or California after living here in DC as VP. But I got to assume she still has, fondness to California as that's where she served. Just saying, Johnson. It's not just that I disagree with her. It's that she don't have a backbone of ethics or integrity on anything. What's she stand for? Nothing. Like a Dougie Fresh song. Nothing. All right. Are we good, Johnson? All right, Johnson. I'm good, Johnson. All right. That's it. That's all we got, man. We'll be back here tomorrow for more Tim Black Show. Tune in to the Tim Black Show. We appreciate you. Thank you for being members, VIP members, supporters of the Tim Black Wolfpack. We're going to keep the party going, Johnson. Like I always say, don't you let anybody take your cornbread. That's your cornbread. It's up to you to keep it. That's all I'm saying. Keep your cornbread. Last but not least, I really like to know what the polls numbers say. Damn it, I can't even run the poll here, man. I'm about to do something about this chat, man. I'm no fan of Trump, but I'm loving his immigration deportation policies. Dun, 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 dun. All right, Johnson, that's it. Like I always say in closing, where are my ladies? Where are my ladies? When I say ladies, I'm talking about my babies. Bam!